Welcome in, everybody, to an episode of the Build a Bridge podcast. I am sitting here in Arlington, Texas, with the Faith Academy Baseball team. So we are going to go around the table here in the conference room, and everybody's going to say their name, introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into some good questions. So, Dylan, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
I'm CT.
I'm Wyatt.
I'm Cash.
I'm Kelton.
I'm Josh.
I'm Dylan with 2 L's.
I'm Travis.
I'm Caden Marcotte.
I thought it was Marcotti.
I'm Peyton.
I'm Riley. I'm Michael. I'm Josh H.
I'm Gage.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Garrett.
All right. So that is the 2025 Varsity Faith Academy Knights baseball team. And we're here for it's not a tournament, it's the Final Four of the state championship in TAPS 1A, right? So we play today at 4 o'clock. And we're going to go out there and play our best and win. But before, we have nothing else to do, so we're going to do a little podcast here and interview the team. And to start off, I have a couple questions here. But the first question for you guys is, what makes this team culture different from others you've seen or played on or maybe even played against? What makes this team different from any other team that you've been on or seen or been around?
I think what makes this team so special is the bond that we have with one another. Especially coming from a senior, I've been able to grow and get to know a lot of these guys. And I feel like part of the leadership that goes along with it is trying to make a bond with everybody, because baseball is just more than a game. I mean, it's like you said, it's a platform where you can minister and grow close to everybody. And at the end of the day, if we're not growing closer in Christ together, then it's failing. So I feel like what makes this team so bonded together is that we all have God on our side and we all care for each other. And it's like you said, we all link arms and we don't let each other fall. No matter how bad the game's going or how many errors we make, we always seem to dig down deep and come back and find it in ourselves. So
I think y'all kind of proved that.
Yeah, so I've been on a ton of travel ball teams, and especially one this last summer. But what's different from that is those travel ball teams, you're playing for yourself. But when we come here and we play school ball, we play for each other. I look at every guy in this room and I play for all of y'all. And I just think that another thing is we simply pray together. We don't pray for a look. We pray for God. We actually truly find it in ourselves to pray and spend time with each other and bond, like Dylan said, and just grow closer to the Lord together, not just for ourselves.
I think big difference that I've seen from just playing in TAPS so far is coaching wise. You can definitely see where some of the coaches' minds are at. When we played Shiner, kid threw 120. That kid's arm's dust. It's done.
What else?
To bounce off what Dylan said and CT said is that that everybody on this team believes that God put us together on this team as brotherly love, and that the fact everybody believes that is what makes us closer and bond more.
Love it, Marcotte. One thing from a coach's perspective, I just want to share. I have coached one or two other teams, and they were travel ball teams. But I can honestly say that y'all are probably the best group of kids to be coached. That we get to coach you guys. For the most part, y'all listen. Y'all are very coachable, and y'all take criticism pretty well, which is a big thing. Nowadays, people don't like criticism, so they kind of stay where they're at as far as progress-wise goes, But I can honestly say, getting to be a part of this team this year, y'all are very easily coachable, and y'all are a great group of kids, and I am blessed enough to be able to coach you guys. From this side of the room, want to say anything?
I played on a lot of football teams when I was little, and I could definitely see a difference between us and the other team, because the other team was a lot mouthier, arrogant, a lot like that. But our team, we're just nice, calm, respectable. But the other team's arrogant. Coaching's not real good. They don't care about their kids and everything else like that.
So something I've appreciated as a lower classman, the upperclassmen actually talk to us and bond with us. Because at public schools or just bigger schools, seniors don't care about freshmen and sophomores at all. But here, I just appreciate all the seniors and juniors, they actually talk to us.
I can 100% vouch for that too. And sometimes I with being in youth ministry, I'll tell some of the upperclassmen or tell some of the freshmen just catch a ride with them. But I don't think, because looking at you guys are all so close, honestly, it doesn't really matter the grade y'all are in. We have 3 freshmen on the team, right? So, but being in a public school where there is seems like such a difference from lower classmen to upperclassmen. And I don't know what it is, if it's just an ego thing or whatever at public school. Hardy, I totally get what you're saying there. But it's cool to watch all you guys just blend together. Y'all are all in the same grade almost. Most of the time I even forget what grade you guys are in, because y'all are all so close and y'all bond so well together. So that's really cool to watch. Anybody else? You want to go to the next question? Oh, Garrett's got something.
One thing that's so special about our team is our ability to grow. I've been on teams before where the team has stayed stagnant the whole season, hasn't gotten any better or even worse. And I felt like since game one, we've gotten better every single day, and I can just thank God for that.
Yeah, 100%. Coaches, y'all want to say anything?
Back to what Garrett said, that's for us, that's a determination to want to be better and want to be better for each other.
I'd say probably one of my favorite things about playing on this team is we play with class. Like there's so many, especially in baseball, there's so many just arrogant and entitled people that play baseball, and like that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I hate that, and so I just love the way that we stay humble and classy through the game. No matter if we're winning, losing, or just straight up whipping up on a team, we still stay classy and there's no talking. We just play.
I think one of the most impressive things is most of you guys have played on a team together since August. And usually by this time of the year, you're all getting on each other's nerves. You don't want to be around each other, but this really is a brotherhood. And you guys have, I mean, literally since August, you've been competing and practicing, and it's been rough, but you guys have stuck together, and you can still see the love is evident in each one of you. Because we're all sitting here right now together, and, we're not mad at each other, and we're not ready for the season to be over. We know there's a job to do, and there's 2 more games to win. And that's probably the most impressive, is that you guys really do care about each other. And that's rare today when it comes to kids your age. So that's been really fun to watch kind of from a distance this year.
Another thing I want to say is that we're not boastful with our talents. Like we all know that Cash is going to Nelson, which is a blessing from God. And we know that Travis can hit a ball over the fence quite easily, but you don't see us bat flipping and going absolutely insane, or Cash walking out there being all arrogant, thinking he's something bigger than what he is. I think that's a huge part of what our team is that we all recognize that they're gifts from God and that we're humble towards it. Because the second that you start taking for granted what God gives you, he can take it away immediately. And I feel like that's what's made our team so successful, along with bonding together, is that we're humble with everything.
Yeah, love it, Dylan.
I say the one difference between select ball and here is the coaching. Y'all actually know Christ. Like most teams I've been on, little league team, well not so little, but all those teams they're all just baseball. They never knew Christ.
I mean, I think I could speak on all the coaching staff here, but I don't want to say we could care less if we win or lose, but we care way more about investing into you guys, making sure that y'all know the Lord, helping you go through whatever you're going through and point you in the right direction. I mean, this is exactly why we're sitting right here in a conference room, that we did worship, that we did a little message, and now we're going over this, right? Because we care about you guys. And I mean, I agree with you. I've had coaches that are not great examples at all, yeah, we don't have to get into that. One of the coaches I had ended up in prison. But anyways, great baseball coach and not a great person though. But anyways, yeah, I think I can speak on behalf of all the coaching staff that we love you guys, and y'all are the reason that we do this for sure, right? As Coach Woodley also says. All right, let's move on. Unless anybody has anything else, we'll go to the next one. Cool. All right, so second question here. How do you handle tough losses or mistakes on the field in light of your Christian values? Now, I know we can only vouch for mistakes on the field at this point right now, but we've had losses before, right? We have lost games. You've lost basketball games, football games. It doesn't just have to be baseball, but just coming from a Christian value standpoint, how do you handle those mistakes or those losses?
I think just the constant belief in one another that we have on this team. Whether it be, that we are down at the beginning of the game or whatever it might be, just coming back into the dugout and just everyone's it's only a matter of time before we get going. And we know that, whether win or lose, God ultimately gets the glory in that situation. And that if he gets the glory, then that's really all that matters. But just through whether we're successful or not, just the constant belief in one another that this team has is just something really special. And it goes back to, football, basketball season as well. It's just no matter if you're playing a sport or at work or school or whatever it might be, just always having that constant belief in one another. I think it's what's kind of pushed us to this point and being so successful.
I say the one thing, the way I handle it probably wasn't the best, but I definitely got away from people. I was not trying to talk to people.
Instead of looking at mistakes and losses as a bad thing, you could look at it from a different point of view as a good thing, something to learn from and to get better and fix. And so if you just stay humble and look back and just take that moment to learn from and just get better, it'll help you succeed.
I know during football season it was pretty rough for me because I did not like watching the film because I could just see everything I did wrong. It was just terrible. And then you get lucky every now and then. Coach Carter wouldn't see it. He would roast you if you did it. But it definitely helped me get better. Constructive criticism. It definitely helped.
I feel like the main thing when it comes to mistakes, like in the game, is your thought process to it. When you make a mistake, it's easy to be like really upset in the moment. Like if you make an error in the field, it's really easy to be like super upset with yourself, like just like being mad. But then when you stop and think about like, all right, why am I mad right now? Well, it's because I wanted to help my team out and I wanted to be better for my team. Okay, well then like what's the next like what should be my next steps? We forget about this and be better. So it's like being able to think about the mistakes that you had and then like realizing like just like the sole purpose of what you're doing right now. So like yeah, when you make this mistake, realizing that being mad at it for only for like a short amount of period is probably going to benefit you most, but then realizing like all right, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna make up for this, and like going from there rather than like staying on it. And then of course like Marcotte and Kelton said, just like use that to grow and learn. So I feel like that's where the main thing is when handling mistakes and stuff on the field.
One thing for me is pretty similar to what Travis just said, but like for example, if you're at shortstop and you make an error and you already have one out, and you get a ground ball and you boot it or whatever, it's really important for me to not focus on that play that I just messed up, but more focus on like what can you do to make up for it, kind of, if that makes sense. And so like if you're still focused on that, and then the second baseman gets a ground ball and you have a chance to turn two and get out of the inning, but you're still focused on that error, you might, bobble a transition just a little bit, just enough to make him safe at first. But if you're looking for the next way to improve and the next way to make up for it, then you're gonna turn it quick and you get turn two and you're out of the inning. So it's like basically like Travis said, just don't focus on what just happened and more focus on what you can do next to be better.
Yeah.
Just another thing is, I think the leadership on this team and like being seniors, juniors, coaches is just really good, and just the mindset that we always have to give God all the glory and everything is really good, because when you think of that and you think of giving God the glory, you don't think negative things, you think positive things. So when you always have that in your brain, automatically positive things will come to your brain. Hopefully that'll help you, move on from that past mistake or that loss, and just get back where your feet are.
Yeah, to kind of feed off what everyone's been saying, I've always been told my life, try and find the good out of every bad situation. I mean, I feel like a lot of the times it's like how you perceive things and what your perspective is of it. Like, sure, you can make an error and you can say, oh, I'm just the worst baseball player ever, this, that, and the other. But if you look back and you take a different look at it, you can say, okay, I messed up, but I'm gonna be better next time. I'm gonna help my team. And I feel like that goes on throughout the game of life, because God's going to give us trials and temptations, and he's going to test our faith. It says in the Bible, and it's all about the perspective that you have of it and how you want to perceive to be better every single day. I live by a quote, and it's strive to be better every single day, no matter how hard it is. So if you're trying to get better every single day and try and see the good in every situation, I feel like it turns out a lot better, and it's what God wants you to do.
Yeah. Go ahead, AB.
It's also like another thing. I feel like mentality is a big thing on the baseball field. Like if you have a bad mentality going into like, oh man, I just messed up, like it's gonna just like kind of psych you out, and you also need to have like Jesus like with that. If you have like, let's say you like mess up, you're like, oh, I don't want to like mess up the rest of this. You can like have like a little prayer to God and be like, ask him to help you. So I feel like mentality is also like a big thing.
Yeah.
On the baseball field.
So like I hear a lot talking about, making mistakes and stuff on the field. So just another like side question here we can go into. Like, what do y'all think would be like an appropriate timeline to like that you get to like be mad and then forget about it? Like make the play, you get 10 seconds to be mad, then you have to move on, like 5 seconds till you get back to the dugout, the whole game. Like, what do you think?
Probably, I say maybe 30 seconds, or if it's like the last out, probably until you get into the dugout.
Okay. Like I feel like if you
Like while you're running there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, like let's be real. Nobody is gonna do something bad and they yippee. Let's be real. Nobody's gonna do that, right? Everybody's gonna be mad, get angry. So like let's just think of like give yourself a certain amount of time, nothing extravagant, nothing long, right? Go ahead.
An appropriate time for me is, say I'm the third out on a strikeout or something, and I play short, and so it's after that first throw you get in the infield. That's when you can do that as hard as you want, and then you can be fine.
Yeah, I'd just say it depends on how severe the mistake is. Yeah, like if you're like the third out, bases loaded, then like you get to like the whole next inning type thing. But of course, like if you're out, like if your error puts a person on and then y'all turn in double play and your error actually means nothing, or even if like the person that you put on because of your error didn't end up scoring, then like you have like maybe not that long, you know. So it all just depends. But now honestly, like it shouldn't be that way. Like just put it away, because like back to what we said, just like mindset, you can't let that like distract you. But like as long as your anger is fueling you and not distracting you, it's like I feel like that's where like that when you pass that line from fuel to like distraction, then it's just like, all right, you need to cut it off, that thing.
So kind of like Travis said, like anger does not fuel me. It totally just distracts me. I have to play with an even head or I suck. If I'm in the field and I make an error on a ground ball or whatever, I have until the play resets is like mine. If CT's pitching, once he puts his back foot on the rubber, it's next play. And I need to be thinking about what I'm doing next. I have until then to, all right, you suck. Now quit sucking. And then once he puts his foot back on the rubber, then it's clean slate and go back to work.
Once I make a mistake on the field, I usually just put it to the back of my mind and don't think about it until I get back in the dugout. Then I analyze what I did wrong, and then I dog on myself. And then I get mad, and then I forget about it.
So, like, Marcotte, back of your head, like, when you analyze it, is it more for, like, correcting and bettering yourself, or is it more dogging on yourself, I'm so terrible and this is what I did wrong?
It equals itself out sometimes, but severity. But usually I just figure out a way to fix it, or if I can't figure it out myself, I ask somebody better than me, like Travis or Coach, like, how do I fix this mistake? And then I use that to go to the next play and correct myself.
I like it. One thing, kind of a mentality that I was like, well, I never had it with baseball. I wish I did have it with baseball, but I have it with golf now. Like, golf's a hard game, and it can be very angry sometimes because you can play very bad and lose a lot of golf balls. But the mentality I have with golf is like, I don't get the right to be mad because I don't practice. So, like, I don't spend any time at the driving range. So when I go out and play for fun, like, I don't get to be mad. I just go out there and play. Like, if I suck, well, that's because I don't practice, right? So, like, if you don't practice at anything and then you end up not doing well at it, like, you don't get the right to be mad because you didn't practice at it, right?
I definitely do not have that mentality. If I'm going to do something, I want to be good at it. I don't want to just be like trash at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody strives to be trash at anything.
Something that I do is like when I'm mad or something, it's like I play outfield, right? And of course, with our pitching, I maybe see like one ball a game. And half the time, it's just like a foul ground ball that comes to me. I'm like, oh my, I actually got something my way. So I'm just sitting there kind of bored the whole game, but I mean, still locked in. Basically, something I'll do is, just mid-game, since there's nothing really else to do except for watch them pitch, to just pray to God about it. If, I forget how many outs there are and I almost overthrow Cash at the mound. I may,
Half the
could be a scoreboard behind me. And so, yeah, I mean, something like that, I just pray to God that, don't get yelled at too much by Coach Woodley. So I just got to hang out on the other side of the dugout. No, I'm kidding. But, pray about it. Be like, like you said, help me forget about it. And just move on to the next thing. Something that Coach Drop said that I still remember to this day is, it was like our first summer like football scrimmage kind of a thing where we went and played that. But Coach Drop at the end of it, I think maybe we lost or something, but he was like, be a goldfish mentality. Goldfish, they can't remember much for very long. So always just, if something bad happens, just forget about it, move on to the next play. And if you do that, you'll be fine. But if it, hangs around, like Cash was saying, that can lead to more problems and more mistakes that ultimately will just make you more mad. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like what we were talking about in the message before this. Like, forget the past, what Paul says in Philippians, forget the past and press on to what lies ahead. So that's a great mentality. I think it all lines up together. Anybody else got anything they want to share? Okie dokie. All right, next question here. So how has being on this team shaped who you are off the field? That's a good one.
How to treat people, Got a lot of people on this team who are really good at treating people. And so you basically learn off of how they treat others, and then you go on your day-to-day treating people how, God tells you to treat people. So I feel like doing that and just having a character that people remember, like, I look up to Travis all the time, like how he carries himself after a hard moment or just in general, like in a day-to-day life, whether it's school or just on a baseball field. Just seeing how he carries himself and try to model after something like that.
Huge. Wow. Nobody has anything else.
I use what I learned on the field, off the field, on how to correct my mistakes in life, to step back and don't get too angry and just learn off of what I've done wrong. And it just really helped me get further in life and succeed.
But one thing for me, well, two things. But first, for one, it's helped me a lot. Not necessarily this team specifically, but just baseball as a sport. Kind of like I said earlier, just like forgetting mistakes and moving on. Learning that in the game of baseball has helped me to learn to like replicate that off the field, kind of like Marcotte was saying. Just like flush it and move on, go to the next thing, and just like remember to like keep your mind on the bigger picture and not just the small things that you mess up, if that makes sense. And then two is like it's helped me to learn how to be a leader, because like I'm a senior, so I kind of have to be somebody that everybody can look up to. I'm supposed to be able to lead everybody. Like it's helped me. It's not that hard on the field for me, but it's helped me to try to replicate that off the field and to try to live a life that other people can like strive to be like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like baseball, like the sport of baseball, it's like gives you way more time in practice and in games to just think a lot. So that can be either like really helpful, like to where you're able to like plan out like, all right, if the ball comes to me this way or that way, I know what to do, type thing. But it also, like, at least in practice, it gives me like way more time to like reflect and think about like how the day went, how I just treating other people, and how like my actions like had an effect on them. So it's like I feel like it's way more like philosophical during baseball, just like because I just like think all the time. It's kind of weird because so now I would say during baseball season, I'm able to think and my thoughts are a little bit more clear and just like think about, I just have more time to reflect. So, I mean, it's easier to correct those mistakes when you have way more time to think about it compared to like a sport. Like I feel like in football, in practice, we were always making jokes and it's like, it's a lot of fun. It's like, go, go, go. And I'm always thinking about, all right, like let's get better. Like I'm on the grind. And so like, it's a little bit different. So like there's pros and cons to both of like being full speed, like rapid pace, like always getting better. But then also in baseball, being able to like flip the switch to where like, if you're not in the moment right now, but being able to think about like other things. I don't know. So back to the question, how has being on this team shaped who you are? I would just be able to say is like, been able to give me more time to think of who I am as a person. I could be better like for the team in sport.
Definitely like stepping up and being that guy that everyone needs in the moment. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, you know what to do in the moment. And so you're just that guy.
Baseball has taught me to control my emotions. Like during football season, I usually use my anger on the next play and to hit the person in front of me the hardest I can. And so baseball, you really can't do that. You gotta just push the anger down and just try to even it out, or even pray about it and just give it to God. And that's helped me through life. Like if I'm in an angry moment, I just give it to God, and He'll help you with all your emotions at the time, instead of just focusing on the person in front of you and trying to hit them as hard as you can.
One thing I'll say on how being on this team has shaped who I am and not on off the field. I messed that up, whatever. Anyway, it's just how to carry yourself. If you strike out or you make a couple errors and you come back to the dugout, hanging your head, and you're just like being like the mood killer, not only does it kill you, but it kills the rest of your teammates. I guess the biggest takeaway is like whenever things go wrong in life or whenever things go wrong on baseball, you just got to look at the flip side and try to find the good in every, like I said earlier, the good in every situation, and just try and be there for everybody that you can. Because you don't want to bring the rest of the team down, or let's say in life, bring your family down, your friends down, or anything like that, just because you're having a bad day or you're having a bad game or something like that. You always want to try and be the inspiration that somebody needs.
Yeah. One thing Coach Woodley told us is he told us we could pray in the middle of the game, pray while we're out there on the field in the middle of the game. So I actually took that and I prayed before every at bat. I pray to God to give me the strength. He is my guidance. He is my wisdom. Lead me down the path that He wants me. And it's actually helped a lot on and off the field.
Heck yeah.
Something that Dylan said, is the word good. I listened to like a little like clip, like the Jocko Willink podcast that says like, good, which I think is a really good like motto. It basically, means, whether no matter what could happen to you in life, the worst of the worst or the best of the best. God always has a plan for you in your life, and that plan is a perfect plan. We might not know what it is at the time. We might be confused. We might be mad. But, if we strike out in the game, but, the next guy steps up, that was his time to shine, not ours. So I think that that's just a really good, motto to live by, is that no matter what the plan might be, it's always God's plan. So it's always, a perfect plan. Just anything that could happen in our life should be good. We should just say good and move on.
Also, another thing for me is like learning how to know who's around you and who's looking at you, if that makes sense. Because it's very common to like think about your teammates around you and like helping them and trying to be an example for them. But one thing that recently I've been working on a lot is being an example for the other team. It's like I've always just like hated the other team and I just want to see them fail. And like kind of like Marcotte said, like in football, like I want to see how I can get this kid out of the game. How can I get him on the bench, like hurt? Like I hate this kid. So I've had to, this season specifically, I've been working on, it sounds a little weird, but loving the other team and trying to be an example for them. Cause like when I go into a baseball game, I like talk a lot, especially when I'm catching. I talk to all of the batters. And so like there's always some that I'm like, dang, that guy's actually pretty chill. Like I like that guy. Like I've been focusing on trying to be that guy, but not just being someone who's there like, he was nice, I liked him, but also someone they're like, dang, he's actually like, you can see the love of Christ in him. Like you can see how much he loves God and how he wants to be like, he wants to be that guy that you can go to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like not just trying to beat the other team, but also trying to show them God through the way that you carry yourself. So not only doing that for your team, but also for the other team.
That's good. I've never thought about that. All right. Anybody else? This left side of the room over here is a little quiet, except for Gage. All right. Next question. So who has had the biggest influence on your life as a Christian athlete? It could be a pro Christian athlete, your mom, dad, a coach, a friend. Let's just talk about everybody's got an influence on their life, I think. So let's just talk about like who has had an influence on your like athlete career, basically.
All right, so kind of jealous of this year's freshmen. They have some of the best seniors, in my opinion. Now, because like my freshman year, I had Noah and Luke for football, and they were seniors. They were seniors. Hey, anyway, I mean, they were good people. They were good people. I wouldn't call them my greatest role models as much as like say Travis or Cash was this year for football, or like, and last year, my freshman year with Travis, it was like Travis and Cash. They've just been phenomenal. Definitely used some of their philosophies in my daily life, and it's just helped.
I gotcha. Well,
I definitely say the biggest influence was probably Travis. Definitely starting from like 6th grade, not really. I knew Christ, but I didn't know who he was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then starting at a Christian school and Travis just like coming up to me and speaking who Christ is, just as a 6th grader, is kind of cool.
I'd say Hunter, because, I've lived with him growing up and just watching him play baseball. In my mind, I was like, I want to be like him. So just modeling who you are as a Christ follower and then amplifying that on the field. But you've also been through the same struggles as a pitcher as I have. So just asking you, picking your brain for how I can go about things like that and just how I can be a better example of Christ on and off the field.
I don't just have one influence. It's more like everybody's an influence on me because everybody shows their love for Christ in different ways. And I learned from that, and I just used everybody around me to shape the best Christ lover as I can with myself.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of going on what Marco was saying. I feel like this whole team has been like a good influence on me. Just being like a freshman, I feel like everyone has like given a positive influence just on and off the field. Even like just in regular school, I feel like everyone had like a genuine connection, not just like on the field with friends. I feel like it's just everywhere with friends.
Mhm.
I feel like the biggest influence on my life as a Christian athlete has been the coaches that we've had because of how caring and loving they are towards us. I mean, there's not a day in football that Coach Carter wouldn't ask, hey, are y'all doing okay? Do y'all need something? Like, hey, if you need dinner, I'll pay for your dinner. And same with Coach Willie. He's always asking if we're okay. and if we need something, and it just goes a long way. I mean, whenever you know that a coach genuinely cares about you and loves you and wants what's best for you, it makes your job a whole lot easier, and it just strives you to get better. To say like a specific person, I'd probably say Travis, because we've been best friends since kindergarten, and through our ups and downs of all of our friendship, he's always pushed me to be better, and he's always pushed me to be not just better on the field, but be a better Christian. And I could say the same for Cash. Cash is always pushing me to be my better self and to always grow more in Christ. And I just thank y'all for that.
Probably for me, it's been the seniors. Like, they've been my best friends since probably my 5th grade year. I've been in sports with them every year, and just like watching them grow like as a person and in Christ has like influenced me to like be better and be like them.
I'd say obviously like all the seniors and juniors, like going to Uvalde and all of that. That was really great. Just worshiping God out there. Seeing CT, encourage me, and hopefully I encourage him too. Dylan texting me every day, encouraging also me and all the other seniors, Travis, any of them, if I'm having a bad day, asking, what's wrong and if they could help or pray for me. But taking it out of school, someone that I look up to, he's one of the basketball players on the Magic, but his name is Jonathan Judah Isaac. But his story is basically, whenever they were doing all the Black Lives Matter stuff and kneeling to the national anthem, he was like one of the only guys in the whole NBA who, stood up for what he believed in and stood up for the flag. And, he got, still stood up for what he believed in. And I feel like, for him doing that, he got more praise in hindsight now than all the hatred that he got at the moment. And just, trying to apply that to my life, no matter the situation, whether I might be, timid or shy to, talk about God, but not being ashamed of the gospel, kind of what, Paul talks about in 2 Timothy, is just, not to be ashamed of the gospel no matter the moment or what you believe in the moment. So I feel like, I look up to him too.
Earlier I said everybody is an influence on my life, and I would also just like to point out one main person is Dylan Oliveris, my best friend. He's a good influence. He's been there with me my whole life, and he just knows right from wrong, and like he's like a good influence to look off of because he's just a good influence on me because he loves Christ, and I want to be more like him.
For me, like my fellow seniors and some of the juniors have been like really good, like iron sharpens iron friends that are like right there with me. So that's been like really encouraging. But I have a lot of people around me that are older than me that I look up to. But to kind of narrow that down to just sports-wise, I have like 3. I can't really narrow it down to just one, but definitely my top 3 would be my cousin Caden Knight, my dad, and Hunter. Y'all have been like crazy, awesome influences and great examples of how to carry myself and just be better.
The people who I feel like are the biggest influence, especially for me, is the coaches. They're not just coaches being paid to coach. They're, especially as like a Christian coach, they're like true. It's like a true personal connection, and I really appreciate that.
To go off what Garrett just said, like the coaches, as well as like the whole team, they make me want to like improve. Like honestly, before like I played on this team, I was kind of like, I just kind of came to play but didn't actually want to improve. But like this team has really wanted to make me improve. So I thank y'all for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it would be like a single person, but it's definitely just like between like my family and just the people that I'm surrounded by that really love me. Like I'm able to take that love and just like realize that kind of like what everybody else been saying is like they don't need to do that, and like this love and like the time that they're giving me and everything that they're giving me is like completely out of like their heart and out of like the love and desire for their desire for me to get better. So it's like, and then I was able to kind of just like throughout my life just not only see that, realize that, and then also learn to have that love for like other people. And like it's kind of crazy to hear like just like everybody talking, and like it's hitting me hard right now, like the influence I've had. And I don't really realize it, but it's just like I'm trying to just hearing everybody's answers and also thinking about the question, I'm trying to think of like where it's coming from. And then when you track it down, I say it's from like the people around me that like love me, but then that love comes from God. So there's like all results from there. Like the love that they have for Jesus is able to like display on me. Then I'm able to realize that love, realize where it's coming from, and then also learn to love like the people around me. And like Stark said, I've known these guys, like I don't know a lot of y'all. Like some of y'all not, some of y'all, a lot of y'all I have, like since junior high. I've had some like really funny moments, some really sad moments. Like I'm telling you, like some like deep talks, like everything. So like it's crazy to be here and hear the influence that I've had, but it's all because of the love of God. You know, it's so like to see that the chain it's been down from like the people around me to now me, and then the love that I have for y'all and the love that y'all have for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool, and so y'all as like the team, y'all are my biggest influence, and just the people around me. I mean, it's really everybody. But I guess the thing that connects all of them is the love of Jesus. So I guess you could say, Jesus. So yeah.
Kind of off topic to kind of go off of what Gage had said earlier about standing up for what you believe. One big thing that I've had to learn is don't change who you are for the world, but change who you are for Christ. And I'll give an example. I mean, we all know that I tore my knee my junior year, but before that, I'm not proud to say it, but I was arrogant. I was prideful. I thought I was whatever my ego had told me. And it took me tearing my knee and realizing that whenever you feel so broken down and so hopeless, that God's there and so are your friends, and they're there to change you. And I did a lot of praying about it. And I would say that God's changed me I know that God's changed me for the better. And I couldn't thank all these people in this room and everyone who's helped me through everything to help me change. But just like a life lesson to take away from it is since you're a Christian, you're obviously going to face backlash. Like that's what the world wants you, or doesn't want you to do. The world wants you to feed into its evilness, and Satan wants to tempt you and wants you to feed into what he wants. But don't change for the world. Change for Christ and grow in him and grow in his faith, and steer away from the evils in this world, no matter how tempting it may be.
I feel like my biggest influence is definitely Jesus Christ. I feel like he has put me here for a reason, like surrounded with all these amazing people like y'all guys. And I feel like he's just like, there's a reason for everything. Everything happens for a reason. And I just feel like he's just made me who I am today, and to be here with y'all guys. And I just feel like that's just the biggest influence I could ask for personally. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah, no, that answer's perfect. And just to go back to what I was saying, is like, yeah, I don't want to feel like I was cutting anybody out there. Like, because of Jesus, I have y'all, and like y'all are so important to me, and y'all are the biggest influence. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it all ties together. So like I could name every single one of y'all out if y'all wanted me to, but like obviously I don't think we want that. But yeah, so like if you feel left out, don't. And like if you want to, like, come to me type thing, I could probably tell you like how much I love you, but it's because of Jesus. So like exactly what Dylan was saying, it's because of Jesus. He has us here for a reason.
I think everybody answered there. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see, where are we at on time? Michael, you want to go? Go ahead, Michael. Come on, you got it.
So for me, big influence is my mama. She's always there for me, and she wants me to improve in everything I do, especially playing in sports. And then Tim Tebow, he is like the biggest one, especially when he played in college. Like I can see how much he loved Jesus while playing, and yeah.
He's got a cool testimony in college. He's like really cool Christian athlete to watch. I'm sure y'all have read all about him. He's a cool one to go. But I mean, so just like me sitting here listening to all y'all's answers is like, how amazing of a group of guys are sitting right here. Like, I know probably the parents sitting here, they're just like, I don't know, maybe shedding some tears or something back there. But like, how amazing. I mean, I just want to say what's going on. Like, how amazing is it that y'all have a group of guys like this that you can lean on, that you can lock arms with, that you can grow with? I think that's another thing that just makes this team culture and this team in general just so special, like we were talking about on the first question. But let's go to the last question here. And I want everybody to kind of talk on this one too. And maybe give some like real life examples of maybe something that's happened. And I'll start it. But the question is, how do you support each other, not just as teammates, but as brothers in Christ? Directly affect you guys. So like my heart after you guys, I don't want to do anything that's going to affect you guys. So like, thank you, Coach Woodley, for helping me reel it in sometimes there off first base. But anyways, what do you guys have for maybe a time or like personal testimony that one of your teammates has helped you get through something, or, supported them? Y'all can think a little bit. How do you support each other, not just as teammates, but as brothers in Christ?
I think there was one time, so the Andersons, they always help me out with like just anything I need. And there was one time in particular, I was like going through a hard time, and just randomly CT shows up to the house and picked me up, and we just went and hung out at their house.
I'd say probably one of the biggest examples I could give was, like I said earlier, whenever whenever I tore my knee back in junior year. The amount of calls and texts and everything I got from everybody asking, hey, are you okay? Hey, do you need anything? The amount of people that came over to check up on me and everything. I mean, it's really special.
Think real hard.
I'd say, whenever I'm going through a hard time, no matter really what it is, I could talk to, anybody in the room as far as teammates and everyone goes. But someone that I've probably talked to the most is, Dylan. Anytime, that I really need like something, he's always there, asking me. And sometimes I don't even say anything to him. He's just like automatically knows. But just I feel like, I've grown closer to him, over the past 2 years. But, I could just talk to him about anything. And that goes to like almost everybody in the room here. I'm just feeling comfortable talking to everyone about anything really. But just, this team as a whole in general is just very good about, like you were saying, locking arms and not letting anybody fall down. Just, staying together. And if someone's going through a hard time, everybody comes by their side and helps them. So I feel like that's one of the really great things about this team is that there's no link holes. Just everyone's together in everything that they do.
I'd say like an example for me is like last year, every single Wednesday, Ash would just take me home and he take me to youth with him. And it's just something like so small and like you might not think that it's like, that I like inconvenient or whatever, but it's just like that meant so much to me, like being able to go to youth and having someone who wants me to go with them and stuff. It just means a lot.
To just tell one of your teammates or your friend how much they mean to you, just like randomly just tell them how much they actually mean to you and what like impact they have in your life can go a long way. And I feel like if that we've been pretty good to communicate that to each other, and that's just that's why we're so close, and we just love each other because we know how to communicate our feelings for each other.
I mean to say guys have feelings.
What? Deep down inside, yes.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to put it to one moment, but yeah, just like being able to like even what making a small like for some people it's different like how they respond to like bringing each other up. Like for me personally, like this is nothing towards like anybody who's ever tried to bring me up. Like when I get back in the dugout and they're like, "Hey man, you're good. Like it's okay." That makes me more mad. So like you can't really put it to like that one moment where it's like, "Oh hey, everybody told me like it's okay after I struck out." But I think it is a combination of like, hey, nobody's mad at you. Like you're gonna do better next time. Like I trust in you type thing. And but also kind of like Marcotte says, just like the love, like just being able to like to either tell other people like hi in the morning or even like bye at the end of the day, just like, hey man, I love you type thing. And it's just like it's not anything weird, but it's just like it's real like love and the connection is so strong there to the point where that is the support that you need. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just like it's really hard to put it in one point, but just the relationships that we have, so like that's enough support to just know like in the back of your mind, like, hey, like these guys are here for me if I need anything, and just like that like insurance that you have type thing. So
kind of like Travis just said, it's not necessary. I can't really think of one specific time, but just the fact that I know that, I mean, I can name like 10 people in this room right now that I know I can call at 2 in the morning if I'm struggling with something, and they'll pick up and they'll do whatever they can to help me. They'll, like they'll drive to my house at 2 in the morning. Like just knowing that you're not alone, and like how a lot of the guys have showed me that like, they're not going through whatever it is on my own, and just that they're there for me has been like really awesome, because I feel like it's something that a lot of high school kids deal with is like feeling alone. But I feel like here we do like a really good job of making sure that nobody's going through what they're going through alone.
So, side question, Travis, just from a coaching's perspective here. So, when you do strike out or do mess up and you're coming back, do you want us to like tell you you're terrible, you suck, like get back out there?
shout out to Coach Wade. He does this quite often, so he already does that for me. I mean, I want you to tell me that I suck, but I would rather just nobody say anything. Sometimes that happens anyways. There's like that one person that's brave enough to say something nice, and I respect it, but it's just I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So silence is always good. That's what usually happens anyways. But then you got Coach Wade every once in a while that tells me I suck. But that strives me to get better. It all works out in the end. So we're doing good. We're here. Yeah. Also, shout out to Marcotte's YouTube channel, Caden TV.
Caden MTV with a Y.
Caden with a Y, MTV, subscribe.
Hasn't posted in a hot minute, but he's gonna hop back on to get some quality content.
Put it in the description down below.
Y'all want to see some good frog gigging videos? Go check out Caden's YouTube page. Yeah, this
And catch and cook.
this episode can be sponsored by Caden MTV. So shout out Caden MTV for this one. So I want to just like open it up to everybody as well, but still with the same question to Travis, like, because I'm genuinely concerned. Not concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned. Like, what would you rather us coaches do, like, when you don't do good? Like, when you just see it on your face, like, do you want us to, like, punch you in the gut, trip you, or just, like, what?
Say nothing.
Silence, like Travis said?
Yes.
Okay.
Do not tell me to get out of my head because it's just going to make it worse. Because then I just get really mad at one of the coaches. It's just like, let me be. Because over time, I start talking to God and then things get a lot better.
Well, when you have a dad that said you suck like actual rat, it kind of tells me that I do and I need to work better and I need to get better. So
Bales want to input on that one?
Just make fun of me and then tell me how to fix it.
Like make you laugh and then, tell you how to fix it. I like it. I've always been generally like concerned what to do in those situations because some of y'all will be looking very, very mad and I'm like, just like pat you on the back or something.
So a lot of the infielders know, like when I'm pitching and I get really mad, like they can hear what I'm saying. Just laugh at me because then I'll start laughing at myself and then everything's going to be a lot better.
Talking to yourself.
Yeah. We played St. Joe's this year and it was the last out and I was just talking to myself and I was like, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. And then I nailed the dude, so. And the next day I walk in and I'm trying to write a curveball and I couldn't.
That one went off the charts too. That was not gonna read. Man, well, does anybody have anything else they want to share? Favorite memory, or anything? Or are y'all ready to take a nap?
So for your side question, for me, I just want to know what I was doing wrong and how to fix it.
Solid.
I have a memory, but it's not from baseball. It's from
PG. Let's hear it.
It's from my 6th grade year and Travis's 8th grade year. It was like second day of practice, and Coach Carter matches me and him up. I was like, all right, he doesn't look that big, and I got rocked. I've never respected anyone more.
Oh, that's funny.
There's a reason I don't play scout offense, just saying. Alvarez, you got that one.
I do have a memory. It's from football. I was itty bitty, and they put me up against a 6'3", 332-pound offensive lineman from Brenham on the varsity squad, and he laid on me, and I could not breathe. No, it was he went to Brenham and then he committed to LSU.
Oh, you did. Well, I guess y'all don't have anything to share. Oh, AB, go ahead.
I have a memory for football. I think Caden and Wyatt will know what this is. Zebra. Yeah, that one hurt pretty hard.
Zebra.
It was a chop block into a side swipe. So.
Hold on.
You're gonna have to go into a little more depth there.
AV, he was talking a lot of mess. So, Caden, me and him teamed up, and I told Caden just lay behind him, and I pushed him over. Caden laid down, and I just fell on top of him.
It was like a domino effect. You got Caden going up the knees, and then Wyatt coming up the side, and you was like.
AB, remember when you crashed out at High Island, and I had to stop you from throwing your helmet to somebody?
Are you Miles Garrett?
I like to say I held you back. I hope you respect me for that one, AB.
The quarterback should not be trying to hold a lineman back by trying to throw a helmet at someone, bro.
Kind of speaking off like what Wyatt said about kind of being humbled. I remember this year actually, like
control.
Probably 2 weeks ago, we was doing live at bats, and then Dylan was right in front of me. We were facing Cash, right? So he got like contact. I forget. It was like maybe a ground ball to second base. He was like, okay, Dylan just got back. I mean, he hasn't taken a ton of swings. He got contact. I'll be fine, right? So I was like, and plus he said he's not throwing that hard today. So I was like, okay, I should be very fine. I'll definitely get contact. I think I maybe got sorted like 5 times in the same at bat. I never felt more helpless in my life.
I was throwing at 75% effort.
Gosh, dang it.
You didn't talk about that the rest of the practice.
Man. Well, guys, this has been a blast. I'm glad we did this, and it's cool to see all you guys open up and talk about the team, how special this is. But to close out our episodes, usually we pray. Does anybody want to take that? Gage, you got it? All right, Gage, go ahead and close us out.
All right, but dear God, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity just to, talk as a team over things that ultimately just point to you, God, and your graciousness and your love and your compassion on us. God, thank you for allowing us to be in this position today, just for the chance to advance to a state championship, and just all the hard work that we've put into this whole season, just to advance to this point, and just your love and fruition throughout it, God. I just pray that we play hard today. I pray that there'd be no injuries. I pray that but ultimately you just get the glory in every situation today, God. Whether we do bad and don't want to be talked to, or if we do good and we are just happy and couldn't give you more glory, God. I just pray that you'd get it in every circumstance, win or lose. I pray and thank you for Hunter and doing this for us in this podcast, and I just pray that we just not take anything for granted today, and we just play for you and play hard. Thank you for everything that you've given us, God, and we love you and want to serve you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Well, shout out to Caden MTV for sponsoring the episode, and we'll catch you guys next time.